got for today. As you can tell, truck's in the shop. Went out and picked up a couple things I'm gonna need for when I chop the frame. Got some jack stands. Let me go on a little tangent real quick with these prices we're dealing with, man. So got these on clearance. Fantastic, right? $30 a piece. Okay, seems like a pretty decent deal. Wanted to make sure I was getting a deal. Got on Harbor Freight, looked up their prices for a 6-ton jack stand. $80 a jack stand at Harbor Freight. What kind of world are we living in, man? This is absolutely ridiculous. So anyways, I snagged these up on clearance, and we've got actually 2 Harbor Freights here where I live. So picked up these 3, and I'm hoping and praying that the other Tractor Supply has the last one I need, and and it's on sale. But if not, I'll just pay full price because I need 4, and I hate having mixed match stuff. So that is what it is. Picked up some cutting wheels. My last pair of welding gloves have seen better days, so we got some new gloves. Picked up a brand new spool of Inner Shield, 0.030. This is good, kind of all around MIG wire. It's like a flux core. The shielding gas is built into the wire, so I don't have to worry about purchasing a bottle of shielding gas. Matter of fact, I've never bought a bottle of shielding gas ever, and I welded up quite a bit of stuff. And so this stuff works pretty good. It does kind of leave a little bit of a splatter and a little bit of a mess, but you know what? This is not a it's not a beauty queen we're building here. So this is going to work just fine for the application that I need it for. And I got a piece of 22 gauge steel plate here to kind of help. I got a couple spots on the body I need to fix or whatever, and this stuff is good for 22 gauge all the way up to, I got a 8-inch plate to stiffen the frame once I cut it and repair it. And but this stuff should work. This stuff should work just fine for all that. What we got going on right now though is last night I got in here and I took the bench seat out, got things kind of ready to start taking this matting up and seeing what we're looking like underneath. I already know it's going to be bad. There's going to be big holes, and so I've already prepared for that. But yeah, we're about to find out what it really looks like underneath all this mess. And I'll kind of go through the process in which I'm going to use to replace the floor pans. I did purchase floor pans, and they came in already. So they're just sitting there waiting for me to install them. I don't know if you can tell, I'm kind of sick. Got a sinus infection or something going on. But yeah. So we're going to get started. We'll see where I get. Should make some good progress today. I'm definitely, like I said, going to get this matting ripped out, get it cleaned up, and I'm going to start taping off the bed for sure and cutting the hardware holding the bed down to the frame for sure. So, yeah, just stick around. I'll time lapse me tearing this stuff out, and you'll get to see exactly what I'm dealing with when I see. All right, later. All right, we got it ripped out. Let's take a closer look. All right, all right, all right. Well, could have been worse, could have been better, but it is what it is. The most rust here, obviously, floor pan area, not so much underneath the seat, which is awesome. Obviously, I'm not looking to weld the whole bottom side of this truck up. So anyways, you know, to be expected. It's kind of what I thought. Cause of this is a nice little rust hole underneath the dash that I also have to repair. So we're gonna have to pull the dash, and I'm gonna have to get to this corner piece. And hang on, let me grab my flashlight real quick. All right, got my flashlight here in place so you can see. So if you look up underneath the dash, got this nice little, there she is. Nice little hole. And so typically these are the reasons why your floor pans rot out. Cause here, let me show you. This is what happens. These little vents right here, right? This is where your air comes into your cab, right? And the vents try to do their decent job of keeping out dirt and debris, but as you know and can tell, that's not gonna stop everything. So what happens is leaves and trash and whatever gets inside these vents, and what's supposed to happen, it's supposed to come through here, down the quarter panel, and it's supposed to drain out the bottom here, right? But what happens is all that dirt and debris, trash, leaves, everything gets caught up in there and it starts to block it. And what happens when it rains, when you get a good, nice rain, water starts to fill in and it gets blocked. It can't drain fast enough, so you get standing water sitting right here. And so that's my issue. That's my issue. And, yeah, we'll attack it. It's not gonna be too bad. Tearing out that dash is fairly simple compared to tearing out a dash of a new vehicle. So I think that's about it. I'm not gonna get started on this interior. I just kind of wanted to show you what I was dealing with, see if there was any surprises. Nothing out of the ordinary. I expected to see all of that. But now I can see that in the background. Okay, so you see here, I am gonna repair that as well. And what I've got is, I reached out to a guy on Facebook who was selling a door. I couldn't find a door, a replacement door close enough to me. So got to looking on the old Bookface and hopped on Marketplace and found a guy who was willing to cut out a section of that door and send it to me. So there it is. That piece will slide up here. I'll have to remove the mirror. And what I will do is I will section out a piece of the door, nice and square. Come down here, come past the bend a little bit to where I get to a flat spot. Come across over here, square it up, remove that section out, and then put it on top of, or lay it on top of this piece, right? Cut it out, and I'll just come back in, I'll just come back in here and tack weld it in place. And I could have gotten away with just doing, you know, a section by section repair on that, but the problem is, and the pain that would come from that is these holes you see on that piece right there. So that is where your felt trim window piece clips into, right? And so trying to duplicate that and get it all correct, you know, measured up correct and have it in the right spot on the door would have been, you know, very, very time consuming. So I'm gonna crop that piece out, slap this piece in, probably paint it up a little bit, take it down, primer, paint it, try to get it to match as best I can. But you know, it is what it is. But that will be the cab, the floor pans underneath the dash will be after I do the bed, okay? So here, let's look in the bed. All right, so my ideas for the bed is it's in fairly good shape. I'm not gonna go and replace the entire bed. We've got, you know, got some rust holes here and there. You know, mainly they're, I don't know if you can see, but kind of where the support brace for the bed lays, where it's been tack welded. That's where you have most of your issues with rust and all that. So there's a couple spots that, you know, I don't know, I may leave or I may repair. I'm not too sure yet. But the main goal here is to get this bed shorter, right? And so the worst spot on this bed is up here next to the cab. And so my idea is we're cutting 16 inches out of the front section of this bed. So I will just lop off a section here, measure it out. Bless me. Lop out a section, 16 inches, bring the bed in to the bulkhead here, and then re-weld it. And other than that, everything else is in pretty solid shape. I'm not gonna go straight down the bed. I'm going to, I don't know, probably come out about 2 inches here, bring it down to a flat surface, bring it back over to this lip, and bring it all the way down. Obviously, we got to remove trim pieces and get it all prepped and ready to go. I'll have it all taped out and good stuff. You can see I got some angle iron here. I'm going to weld that to the inside of the bed before I get to cutting. That way, I've got some stiffeners in the bed that will help me out when I go back to realigning this whole thing. That's not where they're going to sit. I'm going to bring them up and weld them, spot weld them into the underside of the bed rail here. But yeah, that's the plan. I think that's about it. I don't know if I'm gonna get cutting today. I want to kind of take my time and make sure I get everything measured out right. This will be the first time I've ever done this. So, you know, I'll be a YouTube kid searching and scouring the internet for the best tips and tricks. I've already watched so many hours of video on this. So I've already got a firm grasp on what I want to do and how I want to tackle it. But, you know, I might learn something new again. So I'll rewatch a couple things and formulate a game plan and get after it. And so I'll probably show you what the truck looks like with me having it all taped out before I make the first cut. We'll go through that. And then after that, we'll get to cutting. We'll tackle the bed first because it's going to be the longest part of all of this. And then we'll hit that frame. But anyways, all right. You know the deal. Like, subscribe, comment, ask questions. I'm sure that I'm glancing over a lot of things that I already know that I'm going to do that I'm just not thinking of talking to y'all about. But if you got comments or questions or whatever, just throw them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. All right, peace. go ahead and wrap this video up. It's the next morning, about to head off to work, but I just wanted to kind of put an ending to this video. As you can tell, got the bed off, got it sitting on some sawhorses. I gotta go pick up that last jack stand so I can get it on jack stands and get it off those sawhorses. They're a little too big for it. But anyways, yeah, wasn't too bad. As you can tell, I time-lapsed me taking the bed off. Did it one person, just a little bit of brute force, and there it is. Next few days, I'll start working on taping everything off, and then the next video I make, it'll be me going over how I plan on sectioning, and then I'll get into actual sectioning and maybe get into a little bit of welding as well. But we'll see. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Peace.